Hey guys, welcome to the video. If it is your first time joining me and we haven't met yet, my name is Tara and I come to you live every single Wednesday and I do a workshop Wednesday just like I'm going to do today. Today's topic is all about 10 things that will change during a health journey. Okay, so a lot of times we decide to commit to some sort of a health journey and we're doing it because we want to lose weight, or we're doing it because our doctor told us we have to, or we're doing it because we want to improve some sort of a blood marker, lower our cholesterol, lower our blood sugar, something like that. And we kind of don't pay attention to the other things that go on. But I have coached now hundreds of women through their own transformations, which sounds crazy to say. It sounds like I'm proud of that, but at the same time, I have so much more work to do. I want that number to be hundreds of thousands of women. We're getting there. But for now, it's hundreds of women that I've coached through their own health transformation. And what I do is I keep close notes. That might sound a little bit funny, but besides tracking things like if they want to lose weight, they track their weight and things like that, right? But there's other things that I've just noticed, these patterns that have changed inside of these women when they've done their health transformation. I do help men, but it's definitely mostly women that I help. So that's why I say women a lot. So there are these 10 areas that have nothing to do with the blood work, nothing to do with the weight loss, nothing to do with looking toned or any of those things that seem to improve. At least 8 or 9 of these 10 things improve inside of every person's transformation that I've seen. So I want to talk to you guys about that today, because in case these are areas that you're struggling in, and maybe you didn't connect the pieces that you could start with a health journey and get clarity in these other areas, that's, kind of empowering. So number 1, Productivity. People have so much more energy to go about their day and be more productive. It's not just energy, it comes down to confidence. It's sort of, some of these things overlap, but they become more productive. And so what's funny is that a lot of times people will say, like, I don't have the time to have my own health journey, my own health transformation. I don't have the time, but then their productivity ends up increasing, which means that they've basically found themselves some more time. They're more productive. They've lost the brain fog. They are on top of things. They have more clarity, right? So they're more productive. They're actually saving themselves time because they did take this leap of faith. So it's sort of like when we, purchase an insurance policy for ourselves. We're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to ever need that. And you buy the insurance and then you don't end up ever needing that, right? And you're just happy that you ended up having it. Working on your health is sort of like an insurance policy for every other area of your life. Wait until I get to the other areas. So number 2, moods. So your moods improve. I don't think I've worked with one person who hasn't said that their moods have improved. Doesn't mean that you're never going to feel sad or angry or disappointed or jealous or any of those things. No, it doesn't mean that, because we're still human and we're always going to be human. But it means that people have a greater sense of control over allowing those emotions to sit with them. So usually before somebody goes on a health transformation journey, they are doing a lot of resisting. That's what happens usually. We're resisting our feelings, so we eat our feelings. We are resisting change. We want so badly to not feel depressed. We want so badly to not feel anxious and all those things. And we're actually making it worse because we're not allowing it to just kind of come through us and come through to the other side. So it sort of sits inside of us. So moods end up elevating a greater percentage of the time. Again, you're still going to have your bad moods, but they end up getting better overall when you're on this health transformation. Relationships. C number 2, moods. If your moods are improving, you could only imagine what that's going to do for your relationships. But also now you feel like you're filling up your own cup. You feel like you've got some more to give to other people. You're feeling more giving. You're feeling more confident, and you are able to pour more attention into those relationships. So relationships, not just intimate relationships, but like if you have children, you have more patience with them, right? If you have some tension with a coworker, you end up just getting some more clarity on what's important, and those other things tend to get better. I'm not saying everyone else is going to be like rainbows and butterflies all the time. You're still going to have your conflicts, but you're going to be more confident that you can manage those conflicts. Number 4, energy levels. So I mean, from a purely physical, you normally want to crash at 3 p.m. and now you just don't have that anymore. Like how much better is your life going to be if you don't feel like you need sugar or coffee or both at 3 p.m., right? How much better is it going to be that you can just get through all the things that you wanted to get through within reason before you crash, and you just have that energy to go, right? So your days, all of a sudden, you can fit where you normally fit into 2 days in one day. You just are clear on what you want. You've got your purpose, you've got your energy to be able to get you through those things, and that's what happens when you really take control of your health. Confidence shows up not because your body changes the way, its appearance. Of course, that can help, right? If you are somebody who feels like you would like to work on yourself in terms of, getting stronger, losing excess body fat, something like that, you will feel more confident when you achieve that. But it's not because you actually look a different way. It's because you've set your mind to something, you've committed to it, and you've kept your word to yourself. Because how many times do we keep our word to everybody else and we put ourselves last? Literally, we put ourselves last, where we will only keep our word to ourselves when it doesn't interfere with anybody else. When it doesn't feel like it's, I'm taking time away from anybody else, that's when I'll give myself time. When it doesn't feel like it could be a burden to somebody else, when it doesn't feel like it might ruffle somebody's feathers, or it might sort of remind them that they're not doing their best that they can do, right? So we sometimes will take a step back to our own goals because we don't want to bother anybody else. We don't want to interfere. We don't want to get in the way. We don't want to trigger anybody else. And you can see how that just doesn't help anybody because then you're not being able to be as great as you can be. You're not able to be there for other people as much as you can. So you really have to make sure, it's that whole putting your own oxygen mask on first. I know we've heard that 100 times, but it's because it's a really good visual. I don't know I remember being on a plane for the first time hearing that. When the oxygen masks come down, put them on first before you put them on your kids. Years ago, I remember thinking, that is stupid. Why would I do that? Of course, this is before I had kids. I'm like, I would put it on my kids first. Of course, I don't even get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it that if you're not breathing oxygen, you can't help them with their oxygen masks or whatever. So now I get it. And it's certainly that cliche that's probably overused, but it's still a really good visual. So I'll probably keep using it. So your confidence comes from the fact that you kept your word to yourself. That's why I tell people too, by the way, a little bit of a side note. That's why I tell people that when you're creating some sort of a plan for yourself, so I tell everybody to sort of plan their meals in advance, even if it's just a day in advance. It doesn't have to be a big, crazy, fancy thing. Just jot down what you're going to eat tomorrow for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And why that matters is that you're using your adult brain to make those choices versus waiting to the last minute when your toddler brain is going to take over and just do what it wants. Your toddler brain only thinks about you in this moment. Your adult brain can think about your future goals, okay? So I talk about planning a lot, and what actually doesn't matter is what you put on that plan. At least initially, I don't care if you normally have 3 cookies and you take out those 3 cookies, but you add a donut. It's sort of like a lateral shift, but the point is that you're realizing that you can make a change, you can make a decision in advance, and you can stick to it. And the important thing is that you keep your word to yourself. The amount of confidence that you gain from keeping your word to yourself is greater, I promise you, than any kind of confidence that you can get just from changing your appearance, okay? So the confidence is by keeping your word to yourself. The 6th thing that I see change so often in people when they have a health transformation is brain power. So it's a little bit of that, you're losing that brain fog, but also when we're actually on a real scientific note here, when we are really nourishing ourselves and our gut's healing, everything inside our body is healing just because we're taking such good care of ourselves, then your brain can actually fire away in a better way. So your brain will actually create more neurons. You'll be able to create new habits because you're practicing them over and over again. Just the simple act of doing and practicing and creating new habits will improve your brain power right then and there, okay? So you get smarter. That's awesome. Great side effect, right? Number 7, finances. So this is one of those ones that I wouldn't say happens for everybody, but it is something that's been a big enough theme amongst the people that I've coached that it was worth noting. Your finances can improve when you go on a health journey. Why? Well, because you have more confidence, you're going to go after that promotion that maybe you didn't go after before. You're more productive, so you can see how you'll be able to maybe you wouldn't have had time for a side hustle before, but now you can have time for a side hustle because you've got more energy, you've got more productivity. You're able to look at things in a different way. You're getting rid of the excuses. You're really literally training your brain to see puzzle pieces that it needs to fit together rather than seeing a whole bunch of excuses. So you're giving up that victim mentality and you're just starting to say, okay, here's what I'm working with. How can I do this? You just start to learn how to dive into a situation and figure it out. Okay? So you can see where a mindset like that will help you to actually improve your finances. Make more money, save more money. You're losing your a lot of your vices. You don't need them anymore because you're actually allowing those emotions to come through you and you're not resisting them. So if you had like a shopping addiction, right? An Amazon addiction, a Target addiction, something like that. If you were trying to buy your way through happiness, which is something that's almost as common as eating your way to happiness, right? That's something that's so common, so prevalent in this culture. Your finances will improve from that point alone. So there's a lot of different angles and reasons as to why this can happen. But again, here's another situation where a lot of people will come to me and say, I can't take this health journey with you, Tara, because I don't have the money. Which, by the way, working with me one-on-one is less than the cost of 2 personal training sessions in a month. It's virtual, it's online, so it's very affordable, high access to me, all that stuff. It's awesome. But yeah, I get that some people truly cannot afford it. But then there's that other camp of people. That could afford it. Maybe they'd have to give up their daily Starbucks habit, right? Or something like that in order to budget for it. But there's certainly a group of people that could afford it, but they just don't trust themselves that it's going to work. So they don't even want to try because they're afraid that the investment is just not going to be worth it. Or they're not ready. So sometimes people are just really, really not ready. You're scared about that change and you feel like the difficulty of staying where you're at is better than the difficulty of having to go through that change. So for whatever reason but sometimes people will say that they can't afford working with me or working with somebody else, and the truth is that they can, and then when they do, they realize that their finances have even improved, which is bananas. Number 8, a sense of adventure, which is kind of a funny thing, but it was a theme that I saw with coaching these different women, that all of a sudden they wanted to do their first 5K, or they wanted to go ice skating where they haven't done that in 20 years, or all of these things. Like, they were reconnecting to who they used to be, maybe before they got married, before they had kids, or before they put on the excess weight, or whatever those things are. For them, it was like they lost themselves for a time period, and now they're getting back into that sense of adventure. So people, women, mostly women, on a health journey, I feel like they find their sense of adventure after some time while they're on this journey. And again, by the way, these are not things that just happen like at the end of our journey, right? So my one-on-one coaching program is a year long, but does that mean that people have to wait 12 months before they get these benefits or before they actually see those physical results or start to feel better? No, a lot of this stuff starts to happen right away, but it's just that in order for it to stick, in order for us to get through all the things that we need to go through and uncover and learn, it takes that much time. So a lot of this stuff can happen pretty soon. It's crazy. So sense of adventure. Number 9 is stress coping skills, which I like to say instead of stress management, because a lot of times we can't actually manage our stress. A lot of times we just have to learn how to deal with the stress that comes up. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. We don't know what's going to be coming up for us, but we can get really good at like building up our resiliency. So that's I have stress coping skills / resiliency. People that go through a health transformation seem to really, really flex that resilience skill. They're learning those tools along the way, and they have to become resilient in order to achieve the things that they want to achieve. So basically what they're doing is, let's say they sign up to do one-on-one coaching with me. They're signing up to do one-on-one coaching with me, a little bit of a leap of faith. They don't know exactly what to expect, right? I can tell you a rundown, an overview. I can tell you as much as I can tell you up front, but I still can't give you all of it in one day, right? If it's 12 months worth of content and practices and things like that. But there's a little bit of a leap of faith. They also realize that they haven't actually become who they need to be in order to finish that year. So they're starting off as one person. They know that they're going to end up as a different person, but they know that they're going to grow into that person as they go. So they're willing to do that. They're saying, I'm going to start on day 1 as day 1 me. And I'm going to finish on day 365 as version 365 of me. They know it's going to be a gap, and they know they're going to be taking that leap. So you have to become resilient in order to do that, right? You have to develop discipline. All right, it's not motivation. The motivation is not going to be there every day, but the discipline has to be there on the days when you're not motivated. So there is a lot of that resilience that builds up. So they learn stress coping skills in other areas of their life too. They realize that they are better at communicating inside of a relationship. They realize that things that used to bother them just don't bother them nearly as much. I noticed that for myself, by the way. I used to be somebody, hate to admit it, but I used to be somebody that had road rage, like when I was in my early 20s. I don't know why, but you put me in a car and have somebody cut me off or something that I felt like was unjust, and I was like crazy. I would follow people, like my road rage was I was not flipping people off or screaming at them, but I felt like I had to teach them a lesson, like why would you do that? So I followed people before to be like, hey, hands on hip, why did you do that to me? It's so embarrassing. It's so ridiculous, but that used to be me. And when I went through my own health journey, which was quite long and convoluted, but when I went through my own health journey, that changed in me because I had to confront those emotions and I had to learn these stress coping skills. So I'm happy to say now I don't follow anybody anymore if they cut me off, and no more road rage for me. And number 10, the 10th thing that I see so often change in people that go through a health journey is stamina. So yes, physical stamina, right? Because they're moving their bodies more so they can do more. But they've got that mental stamina now too. They've got the mental stamina because they've cleared the brain fog. So there's a lot of scientific and physical reasons for it. But they've also got that mental stamina because, again, it's like a muscle that you have to work on. So when they've worked on showing up even when it wasn't easy, doing the thing because they knew that it was going to benefit them for tomorrow, but even if it wasn't them of today, what they wanted to do, right? So you're learning delayed gratification and those types of things. That's all skills that you learn that will build up your stamina in general in life. So those are the things. People come to me, they're like, I want to lose weight. I'll be honest, this is why people come to me. I want to lose weight. I feel like I'm out of control with my eating and I want to be in control with my eating. I feel like I'm using food to relieve my stress a lot. I'm binge eating. These are the common reasons people come to me. My blood sugar's all over the place. I have PCOS and I want to put it in remission like you did, Tara. Blood pressure, those types of things, right? It tends to be more black and white, on the surface type of reasons that people come to me to start working with me. But then these things happen. And they didn't even realize maybe that these things needed to happen. Productivity, moods, relationships, energy, confidence, brain power, finances, sense of adventure, stress coping skills and resiliency, and stamina. These are the things that they end up with that they're like, holy wow. I don't know if you have kids watching. Holy wow, Tara. I didn't even know that I needed those things. And now I have those things. And guess what? These things might show up before they even reach their end result of what they wanted when it came to their original reason for signing up with me. So, hey, Beverly, thanks for watching. So it's incredible. Like I really, truly, I know I say it a lot, but I feel so lucky to be on this side where I get to coach people through something that they think they're signing up for, and it's like a piece of their life, right? Like my health journey, like so cute, it's over here, here's my life, and like here's my health journey. And what they don't realize is what they're signing up for is to improve and upgrade and up level and change their entire life, right? I'm not an expert in relationships. I'm not an expert in finances. I'm not an expert in adventure. I'm not an expert in these things, right? You don't have to be an expert in these things, but when you work on something so important and so foundational as your health, you cannot not let it affect the rest of your life. Like, I challenge you to try it. Take on a health journey right now and tell me that you can just work on your health and not let it affect your relationships, your mood, everything else. I promise you it's going to affect it. You can't separate out those two things. And number one is because the skills and all those things that you get from that health journey, they just overflow into the other areas of your life. But number two, our health is our life, right? Like we actually would be nothing without our health. Like our 0%, if you had 0% health, what is that? Dead, right? If you have 0% health, you're dead. What are you at? And here's the thing, we don't want 0%, we're dead. 100%, I don't like the perfectionist mentality. I'm like a recovering perfectionist. That's not my jam. I don't think that you should always eat just to nourish your body. I think you should have some wiggle room for fun and living your life and being social and all that stuff, right? But like, what's the percent that you want? I don't know. You get to decide, right? We get to decide how much more than 0% we want to be. Do we want to be 1%? Alive but barely alive? Do we want to be 10%? Do we want to be hovering between 80 and 90%? If we're at 60% right now, can we get to 75? And what do I mean by that? Like 75% of your potential in all areas. Because once you work on that potential inside your health space, let's just call it, again, it spills over into the rest of your life. So where do you want to be in your life too? For me, it's above 90% for sure, 95%. I love to work my way up to seeing what 99% looks like. Again, I'm going to say that I can never hit 100%. I'm going to assume that I'll never hit my 100% potential. I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with like hovering at 75%. I'm not. I want to see what I can do when I push myself and get closer to 95%, 98%. What does that look like for me? What does that look like for you? If you can work on your health goals, okay, whatever your health goals are, is it your cholesterol, your blood sugar, the excess body fat that's in the way, literally and figuratively, in the way of you doing the things that you want to do? What is that for you? Okay, that's a place to start, right? And then we're going to dig deeper. People don't pay me because I'm a cheerleader. People pay me because I'm a coach. I say the things that other people in your life won't say. Not one person in your life will say. And it's not that I'm hard. It's not that I'm Nope. I say it in a loving way, but I will get you to peel off layers of the onion that is you that no one's ever asked you to look behind before. We do that together. That's why it's private coaching, because this stuff is very private. And once you look in each corner and you figure out, then you've got your surface level why, right? I'm here because I feel like I'm 50 pounds overweight and I've been this way since I had my kids and I feel like I'm out of control with my food, and every night I tell myself I'm not going to eat the Oreos, and every night I feel stressed, my willpower is zilch, and I eat the Oreos anyway. And what the heck is the matter with me? I'm a smart woman. I'm successful in my career. I've got my family. In all other areas, people would look in and they'd be like, this woman's got her stuff together. But I can't even freaking keep a promise to myself that I'm not going to eat the Oreos every night. And every day I wake up telling myself the same thing. And then I start to eat less during the day because I want to make up for the room just in case I eat the Oreos at night, right? Does this sound familiar? Not everyone watching this is going to get this. Some people are going to watch this and be like, really? This happens for people? Yes. But I promise you, there's going to be some people that watch this video that are like, oh my God, Tara, I know what you're talking about. Because again, I've coached hundreds of women. I know that this is something that's really common. I also know what's really common is that each of these women that go through this think that this is not so common. So they feel guilty and they feel ashamed of this. They don't realize that in the house next to them and the house across the street from them and their sister and their friend and everybody else is going through the same things. They don't realize that. This is something that's so prevalent in our culture right now. And just the way that when you improve your health, it trickles over into the other areas of your life, the same thing is true when we're not taking care of our health. When we're not taking care of our health, it trickles over to the other areas of our life. We don't feel confident. We don't feel like we've got our stuff together, right? But when I want this to be on a positive note, so I'm going to switch it back around. When you focus on your health, when you start to keep commitments to yourself, your confidence grows, your energy grows, all those things that we talked about. You are on fire. And the health thing becomes sort of in the rearview mirror. It's there. You're like, oh, great. The weight's coming off. Great. I can see my muscles. Awesome. But you start to realize that stuff actually wasn't as important as you thought it was. It's still happening. It's not like you say, oh, it's not important anymore, so therefore I'm gonna keep feeling like I'm carrying excess weight that's getting in my way. No, you get to decide that for yourself, by the way, right? So I'm somebody who's over here, and I'm sorry if this video is running long, but I have passion. And sometimes passion can talk. So you, in this whole, like, I help women lose weight if they want to, and I'm also the first one to talk about body positivity. The first one to talk about loving yourself exactly how you are. And how do those two things coexist? Easily. I believe that you own your body and you get to decide whatever it is that you want to for your body. I believe that no one else can tell you that you're overweight, because overweight only means that you're over the weight that you want for yourself. I believe that nobody else can tell you what goals that you should be after, because you get to decide that, right? If you want to be 0%, which is dead, I hope you don't want to be 0% dead, but if you want to be 1% and you want to hover there, or you want to be at 20% and just sort of coast, or if you're at 20% and you want to see if you can just climb 1%, each week, each month, whatever, you get to decide all of that for yourself. So the reason that I help women lose weight, if that's what they want to do, is because they want to do it. And my job, as I see it, and this is why I started my own business, because I get to decide my job however I want to see it, right? My job is to help women feel empowered, feel healthy, feel strong, feel vibrant, feel fit in whatever way that means to them. And fit does not have to mean that they look like a certain magazine cover or an Instagram person that they follow, or that they, have a spray tan all the time. Says your girl who's the whitest girl you could ever imagine. I'm so pale. Fit, healthy, strong just matters how that exists in your mind. And you get to be that. So I get to help people be that. And then once you close the gap on where you're at and where you want to be, and that starts to close, all those other areas that I just talked about, those other 10 things, just start to explode. Because you're getting closer to who it is that you want it to be, and everything just falls into alignment there. And then it's like, oh, right, yeah, I kind of remember that goal that I had of wanting to lose the weight, right. But you know what? This energy that I have right now is incredible. My new passion, my new hobby, the new volunteer thing that I took, the way that I'm showing up for my kids, I'm not yelling at them anymore. That's so much more important to me now than those 50 pounds that I wanted to lose. But hey, look, I'm still getting healthier. That thing is still happening. But that's no longer like the focal point. That's what I've seen, okay? In coaching these women, this is what I found. And I couldn't have guessed this. You couldn't have asked me years ago before I started if this was a thing that would show up. This is only the result of me just taking notice of what's happening with people and going, oh my gosh, it's not just one person that's experiencing these changes, it's everybody. Now again, not everyone's experiencing all 10 of those things, but everyone's experiencing, I'm gonna say 8 to 9 of these things. 8 to 9 of these things, everybody who's done coaching with me has experienced 8 to 9 of these things. And it's no wonder. And if you're somebody who's super self-motivated and you can do this health journey, transformation, mindset change, lifestyle change, all these things on your own, it's a small percentage of people. I will warn you, it's like 5% or less people can actually take this all on by themselves and let it stick and everything. But if you're one of those people, oh my gosh, bless you, because you should go do it. If you can do it by yourself, you should go do it by yourself. And you're gonna find all these things happen for you too. And if you can't do it by yourself, hire somebody. Hire me, hire one of my colleagues, somebody else who's going to light your life on fire. And if you don't have the money for that right now, like truly, not like you've got a Target spending issue, but you're going to say that you don't have the money. But if you truly don't have the money, because it's obviously a real thing for people, save money. I don't know. Soak up the free resources that you can. Show up to my weekly videos every week. I had somebody inside my free Facebook group. I didn't even know that she was doing this, but after the fact, find out that she joined my group and then lost 24 pounds. She was like quietly like lurking. She was not commenting, nothing like that. She joined the group and lost 24 pounds just because she was like following my advice and doing all of those things. So when you're really, really self-motivated and you go after it and you're disciplined by yourself, you really can use all the free stuff and do it. You don't have to pay a penny for this stuff. You don't have to ever pay me a penny. I still want to show up for you and help you if you've never hire me to do anything or buy anything for me at all. That's not my thing. If you said tomorrow, Tara, there's no such thing as money, how are you going to show up tomorrow? I would still show up and do these things. I would not change what I'm doing because I'm here to help you, because I know that when I help you, I care about you. But if you want to know selfishly what it is, if I show up here for you, you get to show up better for everybody else. And it's a ripple effect. Our world becomes better, right? You raise your kids better, the next generation is better. You show up better for your spouse and your neighbors, and it's that whole pay it forward thing. You get to be true to yourself. Who knows, maybe you'll have the next greatest invention that's going to end up helping me and affecting my life or my children or something like that. Who knows, right? But you don't know unless you can start to raise the bar on where it is that you want to go. And again, you get to decide. No one can tell you that you need to be living at 95%, 99%. No one can tell you that. But maybe you want to live there. Maybe you want to slide yourself from 15% up to 50%. You get to decide that. You get to decide that and then start to take the actions for it. Yeah, it's a decision, it's a commitment, and then you get to go from there. I know this video went way longer than I was expecting, so thank you for the couple of people who have stuck with me here. I appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Oh, one more thing. This was so important. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, but most people don't watch the stories in Facebook, but people watch the stories on Instagram. But I have in my stories today something that I want to start. I want your help in helping me get this off the ground. Just because it matters. My purpose lives here, okay? I started this hashtag, my purpose lives here, because I'm working with so many women who have trouble finding themselves beautiful. And a lot of them have gotten to the point where they can see the beauty in everybody else, so they've stopped that judgment on everybody else, but they're usually the last ones to give it up for themselves. So they still don't see themselves as beautiful. And it's important to see yourself as beautiful so that you can really take care of yourself, right? So we take care of the things that we value. And if you don't see yourself as a beautiful person, you may not value yourself as much. You're not going to show up and do all of those things, right? And it's the difference between, for example, showing up and working out because you want to get stronger because you've been given this body that can actually move, or showing up to work out because you want to burn off those extra 300 calories that you ate last night and you want to punish yourself, right? Or just not showing up at all because you're feeling sluggish. Like, that's the difference between feeling like you're a beautiful person and not feeling like you're worthy, okay? So that's the reason. That's the reason behind this. I started thinking about the fact that what is something that's undisputable? Is it undisputable or indisputable? Someone tell me in the comments. What is something that people can't fight me on about their beauty? And I realized, well, we all feel like we have a purpose. Or if we haven't even discovered our purpose yet, we feel like there must be a purpose for us here, and maybe we're looking for it. That's fine, but we have a purpose, right? We have a personality, we have creativity, we have humor, we have love. All that stuff lives inside of us. All of that stuff literally lives inside of our bodies while we're here on this earth being humans, okay? I don't know what happens before or after, whatever. You believe something, somebody else believes something different. That doesn't really matter. We're here on earth right now, and we've got a human body. And as of right now, our soul, our purpose, our mission, our love, our creativity, it all lives inside of this very physical body. So that's beautiful because our body is housing that. So even if you can't see your body as beautiful from an aesthetic point of view, I think you can at least see that your body is beautiful in terms of it housing your purpose, your love, all of that stuff. Your body's housing that stuff. So here's what I was thinking. To sort of add my own twist to the body positivity movement, letting people understand that it's okay to love your body and also really take care of it and nourish it, all that stuff, right? It's kind of, there's the body positivity group of people. there's the health group of people, and a lot of times they don't see eye to eye. I straddle both sides, basically. I'm standing here, straddling both sides. We should love ourselves as we are. We should appreciate ourselves as we are. We should think we're beautiful as we are. And also, if we want to improve our health, improve our bodies, get stronger, all that stuff, we should get to do that because we own our bodies and nobody else does. So, hashtag my purpose lives here. If you guys could post a picture on whatever social platforms you live, but post a picture of yourself taking care of yourself. Whatever that looks like to you. You're going for a walk, you're out in nature, you're going for a workout, you're nourishing your body with foods, you're getting some rest, you're having some self-care, whatever that looks like for you. If you're taking care of yourself, thinking about yourself on purpose, I want you to post a picture of that, caption or no caption, whatever, tag me so I can see it. Otherwise, I don't know you posted it. So tag me and add the hashtag my purpose lives here. Let's start something. I don't have 1 million followers, right? So I don't expect this thing to get crazy huge. But if 5 people do this and then their friends and family see that, are we making a difference in the body positivity and health spaces? I think so. Worth it to me. So if you think that's worth it too, post your picture, hashtag my purpose lives here. I can't wait to see your pictures. I'm excited about this. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.